Hey, it's Casey. Welcome back to another episode. Let's dive right in. Today, we're going to be talking about how to transition from a marketer to becoming a fractional chief marketing officer. Let's go. Marketers of the world, why do we work hard to solve small problems? Why do we reinvent ourselves and our clients over and over? And why are we giving away marketing strategy for free? With advancements in AI, we're all seeing the marketing department shrink from the bottom up, and companies need you to serve them as their fractional chief marketing officer. It's time to solve bigger problems and bring home a bigger paycheck. It's time to create the lifestyle we deserve and to make a greater impact. This is the Fractional CMO Show, and I'm Casey Stanton. Join me as we explore this growing industry and learn to solve bigger problems as marketing leaders. The Fractional CMO Show is sponsored by CMOX, the #1 company to teach you how to attract, convert, and serve high-paying fractional CMO clients on your terms. All right, so you're wondering, how do you become a fractional chief marketing officer? Because you're a marketer right now and you want to figure out what the next kind of move you have to make is in order for you to ascend to the most authoritative, strongest role in marketing, which is the chief marketing officer. So how do you get there? And I can lay out like a couple simple steps to get there, and that's what I'm going to go through today. But before we get into like the individual steps, we got to first know why. Because becoming a fractional CMO and like really being a good fractional CMO is predicated on like you committing to something bigger than just being a fractional CMO. Like you want to be a fractional CMO for a reason, and I want to know what the why is behind the reason. Maybe you've heard this thing, the 5 whys. I want to ask you, you want to be a fractional CMO, why? Why do you want to be a fractional CMO? And you might say something like, because I just want to move to the role of the CMO, because I want to make more money. Okay, why? Because it's an authoritative role, and I know that if I'm in the CMO seat, I'm like more stable in a business than if I'm in like in a lowly marketing seat that could get sent overseas or transition to AI or whatever. Okay, but like, why? So that I could support my family. Why? Right? Like, I want you just to kind of dig into those whys real quick. And I know this seems a little pedantic, but if you've never done this exercise before, like grab a notepad, have a physical notepad, have the note app in your phone, grab that and write this down there. Just write down your whys. Like, why do you want to be a fractional CMO? What's really behind it all? For me, it's pretty simple. At the end of the day, I want to support my family and do the things I want to do when I want to do them. That's all I'm after. I'm after like complete freedom. That's it. Do I want the title of CMO? It's nice. Don't get me wrong. Like being the CMO of a great company is cool. But like the title doesn't make me go to bed at night and say like, I did it. I did a great job. What did? It's the optionality. I like to go out to places and see something that I like and buy it. Like, being a CMO gives me that, affords me that. I like to take Fridays off. I don't really work on Fridays. And I can do that because I'm a CMO, right? And I call the shots and no one's like telling me I have to work on Friday. I also want to work with people that I love working with, right? Like I want the optionality in my life. That's the biggest thing. Like that's the single biggest reason I want to be a fractional CMO. That's why I go and win clients and serve them as a fractional CMO, is I want optionality. I want to not be stuck with some entrepreneur dictating my lifestyle, right? That's why I don't want to be the CMO for one company. I want to be the CMO for multiple companies. I also want to help. I like helping people. I think it's important in my life that I help people. And what's the best way that I can help them? Well, I mean, I can physically move stuff, right? Like I'm decent with a shovel. I just shoveled my driveway over the weekend. First time in a long time. I live in Philadelphia. We don't get a lot of snow, right? I can do that. I can, I can like make meals. I'm okay at that. I'm okay. I'm okay at bathing my dog, right? I'm okay at these things. I'm okay at cleaning my house. I'm just like really good at marketing stuff. And I'm really good at marketing stuff because I've spent the most time on it and I focused on it and I really just like get excited about it. And I've found that I've gotten great at it over time simply by repetition and more time than a lot of people have. More time in varied environments, right? I got more experience in a few years working at a marketing agency than a lot of people do working 10 years at a typical corporate job where they kind of do the same stuff year over year. So I've got a lot of experience in marketing. I know I want to help people. I want optionality. Like marketing feels like the right place to do it. That's why I want to be a CMO. Like I could totally go and get a job somewhere else, Like I could go be a barista. Nothing wrong with being a barista. I mean, I love all the baristas that serve me coffee. But like being a barista just isn't the thing that solves the problem for me. It doesn't make me a lot of money. Probably doesn't. Like it's probably be pretty difficult to break six figures as a barista. It doesn't give you a lot of optionality. I'm not really a morning person, and I want to hang out with my kids in the late afternoon and evening and on the weekends and everything. So being a barista doesn't work for me, right? So like to solve the problem of me wanting optionality, freedom, to be with my family, to raise my kids, to be really present in their life, to have a deep relationship with my wife. If I want to do those things, I need to find a profession that allows me to do that. And for that reason, I chose being a CMO. I chose being a fractional CMO, right? CMO sounds great. Fractional CMO, better. I remember thinking back when I used to be at Tulane University. I was an adjunct professor of marketing for a few years. And I remember looking up the salary of the professor that I was working under and thinking like, wow, that's an amazing salary. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. And then I looked at all of the different universities that could hire me with my 2.49 GPA from Michigan State University in environmental policy. Like I don't have a marketing degree. I didn't get an MBA, or I didn't go that route. I've just been the guy inside of businesses growing them. I learned from the School of Hard Knocks. Was I going to really go be a professor of marketing? No, I wasn't. I like the idea of taking the summers off. That sounded pretty cool. Getting tenured would be pretty cool, but man, I just didn't think I had the opportunity. I wasn't the right person to get that job. So being a professor wasn't for me. Being a marketing agency owner wasn't for me. I was working at an agency. It just wasn't for me to go on and build an agency. Again, I have no issues with agencies. I think it's a great business model, just not the business model for me. So I'm left kind of like, what's the right thing to solve the problem for me? And it's just being the CMO of multiple companies. So that's kind of my why and how I landed on it. And I wonder what's true for you. Why do you want to be a fractional CMO? So get clear on what that is first. Okay. All right. And then the next thing is, what will you do as a fractional CMO? How will your life be different? Will it be any different? And for a lot of people, there's some things that they want, the optionality, like they want to move somewhere. They want to drive a certain car. They want to have a certain lifestyle. They want to eat certain foods. They want to order out more. They want to have a house. They want to own their house. Like, what's the thing for you that you're going to get by being a fractional CMO? Because being a fractional CMO in and of itself isn't really the outcome. It's the way by which we get to our outcome. So kind of clue into what those things are. What is winning for you? I'll tell you what winning is for me. This morning, I'm recording this on a Tuesday. I got to hang out with my son in bed. He was up before my daughter, and we got to hang out. And my daughter woke up, and she came in bed, and we all hung out, made coffee, had a nice kind of gentle morning. It was nice. I got a workout in, and then I started working. And I'll tell you, I had a lot of fun doing the work. I dove in deep with the business and really helped them troubleshoot some problems that they had, some significant problems that are holding them back from growth on a very important year for them. This year is a very important year for this business. So it was like a ton of fun. I got to give my best value during that time. I get to record this episode. I worked with the CMOX Accelerator members today too. But like that constitutes my day. It's like solving those big problems. And I get a lot of value and excitement from it. And that lifestyle is what I want. It's not that I don't ever want to work at night, but I don't want anyone to tell me to work at night. I want to work at night because I just have a passion and I can't sleep, but I just want to do the thing. I want to play. I want to have fun. I've got a secondary computer that I keep in my office here, and I run a different operating system on it, and I get to play with all the AI tools, and it's just like my little like play place. I get to just play. And that's what I think is so great about being a CMO is you can elevate to a role of just like playing and learning and seeing around corners. And like, that's fun. Like you're bringing innovation in if that's exciting for you. So the lifestyle that I have as a byproduct of being a CMO is really the lifestyle that I want. There's always more that I want, yes, but generally speaking, the kind of father I am, the kind of husband I can be by being a fractional CMO is really excellent. So get clear on what you want. What does your lifestyle look like? Like, why do you want to be a fractional CMO? And then what does your lifestyle look like? For me, I don't want to do 8 a.m. calls with clients. Like, no, thank you. I could do like a 9:30 a.m. call with clients, but not 8 a.m. I don't want to work after 4:30 with clients. I don't want to work on Fridays. These are all lifestyle requirements. I like to see clients occasionally, but I don't. I tend not to, just because it's just not necessary. But I also like the opportunity to fly and see him or drive and see him or whatever. Like, that's fun for me. That's not a deal breaker. It would be a deal breaker if I had to see them every week. I don't want to, go to anyone's office every week. No, thank you. I've got other stuff to do. As I'm sure you might as well. But maybe you like that. Maybe you like being in person. So as you get clear about what you want as a fractional CMO, we can start putting together how you go from marketer to become fractional CMO. It's really important that you go through this. And you're not just like adopting the things that I say or listening to a past episode and taking this as an introjection, right? My belief system, and you're adopting it and just saying, yes, I want everything Casey wants. Really think for yourself, what do you want? And there's some people who want to have kids and like disconnect for 3 months. That's cool. Or 6 months or whatever. And other people who want to go on big travel adventures and disconnect for a while or work on the road or, make a certain amount of money so that they can have this crazy lifestyle and do crazy things or spend a lot of time with their family or just make a ton of money. Just like work hard and make a ton of money. That's cool too. Like, what do you want? First of all, figure that out. Okay. All right. Then let's think about the fear that comes up for you. Like, what's the thing stopping you today from making that happen? Because all it is you're like one offer away. You're one client away that says yes to you from being a fractional CMO and charging high rates. Why haven't you done that? And I'll tell you a couple reasons why you probably haven't done it. I'm just going to guess, right? Bit of a cold read. The first reason you haven't done it is because you don't know what to sell. The second one is you don't know who to sell it to. It's probably one of those two things. Or the third one is you've sold it, but you're not really happy about what you sold, the price that you sold it for, etc. So let's talk about what you're selling and who you sell it to. It's really simple and straightforward. So what do you sell as a fractional CMO? You sell marketing strategy and marketing leadership. That's it. Two things: marketing strategy, marketing leadership. You do not sell implementation. For the sake of this episode, you don't sell implementation. Let's say you have an agency. Okay, sell that as an agency service from a different company. I want you to sell yourself as a marketing strategist and leader, and that's it. Exclusively, that's it. You don't write emails, though you might write the first email just to help the person who writes the emails understand the tonality that you want or whatever. You don't post social media posts, though given an emergency and someone's sick or something, you're going to step in and do it. You don't get inside the CRM and run reports. You have other people run reports for you, and you might meet with them and coach them on the reports that you need, but you don't pull the reports. You have smart people present data to you, and then you help them find things that are important in that data. So that's what you're doing as the CMO. You're not there to be the marketing department of one. You're there to be the marketing leader and strategist. And again, if I had to leave either marketing strategy or leadership behind and only do one, I would be the marketing leader. I can find other people to give strategy. I can ask other people, what are your ideas for growth? But when it comes to leading people, that's solely on me. Okay? Marketing strategy, marketing leadership. If you could choose one, it's leadership. But I choose both, right? I want to be the guy who's in charge of finalizing the strategy and then the guy who's leading the team. So what do you sell? You sell marketing strategy and leadership to companies. Here's like a pretty simple way that you do it. If you're full-time and you want to transform that relationship to be a fractional CMO for that same company, let's say you're the marketing director or CMO of a company, I want you to drop your hours by 4, right? So from 40 hours a week to 10, from 40 hours a week down to 10, and I want your rate to cut in half. That's the simple number. So if you're working with a company right now, you're the CMO, VP marketing, SVP marketing, marketing director, lead marketer, marketing department of one, whatever it is, whatever your title is. If you want to be fractional CMO, you cut your hours down to a quarter of the hours and your price in half. Just do the math on that. If you follow that and you bring in 4 clients that are all paying you that, you just double your income working the same hours. But all you're doing is focusing on the marketing strategy and leadership. So it is a quarter of the hours for half the pay of full-time. It's a good place to be. That's how you double your rates kind of overnight. But you're required then to only focus on the things that matter, which is marketing strategy and marketing leadership, right? You can't write emails. You can't do SEO blog posts, right? You just don't have the hours in the day for it. And you have to have great boundaries on that. I'll do an episode later on about boundaries because I've got some strong beliefs around boundaries and what we might do sometimes to sabotage our relationships with our clients and then get frustrated with them because they're not noticing that we put in more hours than we're contractually obligated for. But that's a story for another time. So what do you sell? Fractional CMO services, 10-ish hours a week. I think it's great. We call that engaged. Or you do an advisor level where you're with them a couple hours a month. And then who do you sell it to? And the answer is the type of clients that you've worked with before that you have a good understanding of the market, or a different niche if you want, but always a company that can afford it. So let me give you an example. I chatted with a member today, and they're looking at working with a medical clinic. And the medical clinic has one location, and they're doing a couple million a year with some room to grow, maybe by 50%. Solid medical clinic in a major city. This CMO wants to pitch them on fractional CMO services. And he knows that market because he's been inside of those types of businesses before. He worked in an agency. He knows that stuff. His potential client wants to go from one location to many locations, but they're bootstrapping it. So yeah, they have a couple $1 million a year from one location. They want to add additional locations, but they're currently not taking a full-time salary, the two owners, because they're just reinvesting in the business. Despite that location doing a few $1 million a year, this CMO cannot demand, I would say, market rate. I think it's pretty difficult to do so unless the business is well capitalized, right? So like the CMO just can't ask for what he wants to ask, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, whatever. He just can't do it because they won't pay it. They're not even paying themselves that amount of money, probably, like the two owners. So because that business is like they have a big future, but they're not well capitalized, he can't ask for a lot of cash up front. Now he can do some kind of upside where he helps them grow and takes a haircut on his rate, and then over time he earns a multiple of what he would have been owed at his full price rate, and that's possible. But like that's a more difficult client to work with because they're limited on budget to pay you, also limited on budget to bring in a team, also limited on budget to run ads. If someone spends all their budget on you and there's nothing left over for a team or ads, guess what? You're the marketing department. Just you, one person who's booked in for 10 hours a week. You have to do everything in 10 hours a week. You'll always feel behind. You'll never be proud of your work. You'll always be over-delivering hours and then frustrated you're not making more. It's not a good relationship. I want to see you as the fractional CMO who is working 10 hours a week, but has a team to delegate to and an ad budget. That versus, think of another company that someone recently shared with me. They've got 15 locations. Each of those locations does about $2 million a year. So they're at $30 million. Same type of business, same kind of medical, 1 or 2 doctors per location kind of thing in major cities across the US. They've got $30 million in revenues, plus like the predictability that that's going to continue to grow. And they know how marketing works, but they want someone to come in and lead the marketing and build the team out. The CMO that focuses on that $30 million company opportunity, I think, is easily going to be able to charge more, have a bigger team that they can go from the start and have a bigger ad budget, and then obviously generate better results. But sometimes we think like we have to start with the small fish and earn our way into the big fish. And what I found is that's just not true. The business owners just don't care. Like they want you to be the person, but it's not like, hey, have you earned your stripes by launching a business from startup, pre-revenue, where you had to be overworked and underpaid for years? They don't ask those questions. But sometimes we create that reality for ourselves and we think maybe that's what's required before we can win the big clients. I think that's false. So you want to just aim for big enough clients that can afford you. And if I gave you a floor, I'd say it's $2 million a year in revenue. If I gave you a ceiling, I'd say it's $50 million. You want to work with companies between $2 and $50 million a year. And I don't really want to work with them smaller than that. I certainly don't want to work with a company pre-revenue or under $1 million. They just don't have the money to pay you. Every dollar that they pay you comes out of their pocket, comes out of their kids' college fund, comes out of their financial runway to make the business successful. It's scary, right? They don't want to pay you that. It's difficult to pull that money from folks. The bigger the company, the better. $5 million a year, that's a much better place to start finding companies. So if you're familiar with working with the medical practice, like consumer medical practice, Do you go with the one location that's going to grow, or are you going to go with the one that's got more locations, more cash flow? I'd go to the one with more locations and more cash flow every time. So how do you transition from a marketer to a fractional CMO? First of all, you got to understand like what you're selling and who are ideal clients. And then you just have to have conversations. Like that's the thing. It's predicated on you having a process to serve the client, you having enough experience in marketing to really know what you're doing. If you ask me, Casey, how many years of experience do I need to be a great fractional CMO? It depends. I know some people who in 5 years at an agency could do it. And I know some people who at 25 years in a Fortune 500 would struggle, right? Like the agency people might see more problems solved at a faster rate than the Fortune 500, marketing leader. So it's dependent. But if I had to give you just like one flat answer, I'd say 10 years of marketing experience. But we know that 10 years in a marketing role at a nonprofit where there's no marketing team and you're not doing much and you're just sending out newsletters is not the same as 10 years of working at an agency with, 5 or 7 projects going on at any time. It's just different. There's a sense that you have to have that you get it. You get business, you get marketing, you know how it works, and you want to help a company. When you're there and you're ready, then you can, start slinging the name Fractional CMO. Remember, my education is a sub 3.0 GPA from Michigan State University, and I'm a fractional CMO. I never really traditionally held the CMO title. I was kind of the CMO for this marketing agency, if you could call it that. I don't even know if it was actually ever on the website or anything. But I just declared I'm a fractional CMO for businesses. And then I had to go prove it. I had to do the work and be valuable and deliver the value. So having a process to deliver the value is the requirement. What is that process? I mean, it's really how do you generate leads, get those leads to buy, get them to buy again, and increase the transaction value. Jay Abraham says there's 3 ways to grow a business: get more leads, increase the conversion rate of the leads, and then increase the average transaction size. So transaction size, transaction frequency, and total leads. Those are the 3. That's all you can focus on. There's really nothing else. I mean, there's branding, but how do you measure the success of branding? Well, probably through leads that you're getting, or transaction size, or transaction frequency. All right, that's the stuff that matters to the CMO. Also matters to the CFO and the CEO, right? And that's, at the end of the day, who you kind of report to in this role. So if you want to be a fractional CMO, first of all, you have to know why you want to do it, and you have to commit to it. To me, there's no better way to have the lifestyle I want than to be a fractional CMO. I'm committed to it. I could have been an optometrist. I could have been a podiatrist. Those are great businesses to have. Have your own single practice, make a bunch of money as a doctor. But that ship sailed for me. I'm not going back to med school. No way. I'm not going to be an engineer. I'm not going to learn to be a developer. No way. Nope. I'm going to be a CMO. That's the one for me. I'm choosing that one for me, and that's where I want to be. And I want to know, are you choosing that too? And if you are, right, clue into the why. Why is that important to you? What are you going to have from it? What are you going to do from it? Do you want freedom like I have? Is that what you're looking for? Do you want something else? Do you want to make a ton of money? Do you want the feel goods of being able to help a bunch of people? What's the thing for you, right? Measure those things for you. And then commit to yourself that you're going to be a fractional CMO and go make offers. The reason you haven't closed the deal is because you haven't made enough offers. That's it. You want to go close business this week? Go make offers. You want to make more money? Go make offers. You're not happy with the amount of money that you're making, or the client that you have, or maybe this client, I don't know, they're just kind of feeling like they kind of annoy you and you want to cycle them out and get another client in. Go make offers. You want to upgrade your car? Go make offers. You want to retire your spouse? Go make offers. Go talk to people and make offers. I think that's the whole thing. Now, what are you selling? I already told you, fractional CMO services. 10 hours a week, 4 hours a month. That's it. Go make offers. Most people are afraid to make offers. They're afraid to chase. They're afraid of rejection as if it means something about them. Every time someone said no to me, they're saying no to them about working with me. They're not saying, Casey, you're a bad guy, right? And even if they said that, I don't have to choose to believe that. I can say they're having a bad day. We're afraid of rejection. And I think it makes sense, evolutionarily, right? If we get rejected from our tribe, then we're screwed. We have no protection. It makes sense, but right now it's just a different game. Someone saying no to you on a sales call is not like, no, you're a bad person and I'm going to reject you and ostracate you from the tribe and you're dead, right? No more resources for you. It's just, no, I don't want you to be my fractional CMO. Cool, great. I'm going to move on and go to the next one. The problem is people fail to make offers. They internalize what that no means. They think that, I don't know, maybe I can transform this relationship that I'm in. Every single time, and I bet this is true for you too, every single time that I've worked with somebody and it's just like felt off. Every time that I've written a job description and put that up online, like on LinkedIn ads, LinkedIn job post or whatever, and I see my first quality candidate, every time that happens, I realize, whoa, there's like some really great people out there that I could hire. I'm just like making offers. Who else wants to join the team, right? Instantly, it changes for me. I'm like, oh man, I've been living in this world where only this type of person can work for me. This person who like, I have to reiterate everything to, I have to like obsess over the details because they don't get it. I have to continue to check in. But you just run that job post and you find a candidate and you're like, wow, there are smart people that want this job in the world. In the same way, I guarantee if you get on a call with somebody who's interested in what you're doing, it'll change your perspective. It'll get you out of the funk that you might have put yourself in, the self-imposed funk, right? You are completely free here to go make offers. No one is stopping you from saying, I really want to be in this space. I'm just going to just like start messaging all those people and see if anyone wants to talk to me. Right? Like nothing is stopping you from doing that, except for maybe your fear. So what's the first step? How do you transition from marketer to fractional CMO? Know what you want, know what you're going to sell, get over your fear and just go make offers. That's it. I was lucky. My first fractional CMO offer was a yes. Changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. $7,500 a month. I kept it for like just about 2 years. It's an awesome gig for me. You might be right around the corner from something like that too, or a bigger opportunity. I love when people join the accelerator and their first sale is more than my first sale was. It's so great to watch. So that's it. That's how you transition from marketer to fractional CMO. Set your sights. Last thing, you got to do 3 things as a fractional CMO. 1, solve bigger problems. You don't have time to solve small problems. You literally don't have time. 10 hours a week, all you can focus on are the big problems. 2, once you identify the problem to solve, you delegate the work to somebody else to do. You can't do it because the moment you do the work, your eyes off the ball, you're no longer solving big problems. You're solving small problems. Like, how do I write this? How do I design this? How do I launch this? That's somebody else's problem. I can go on Upwork right now and I can find 100 people who can do that work. Anything that you think that you can do, I can find someone else to do on Upwork in a heartbeat. And they're probably available right now for a chat. Okay? So you have to delegate everything except leadership. Keep the leadership. That's you. And then finally, what do you do as the leader? You practice predicting the future. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think the implications are with AI in the market? What do you think the implications are with a new president? What do you think is going to happen to your client? What do you think is going to happen with tariffs? What do you think is going to happen with Bitcoin at the price that it's at right now? You think it's going to go up or down? How's that going to change things with your market? What do you think is going to happen with manufacturing? What do you think is going to happen with precious minerals that your client might use and mining for those? What do you think is going to happen with climate change? What do you think is going to happen with the ability to take payment online? What do you think is going to happen to the website? Is it going to get hacked? Is it going to go down? Focus all of your attention on that stuff so that you can stop problems before they start. You solve bigger problems, you delegate everything except leadership, and then you practice predicting the future. These are the 3 things that a fractional CMO must do to be successful for their client. And you're not far from it. So if you're leaving this episode with anything, leave with this thought. I've got to make offers. How many? More than you feel comfortable making. That's the only answer. So how many offers are you going to make? I remember when my business tanked, I was like, I got to make offers. I wrote a Post-it note and I put it on my monitor. Go make offers. I'd make 2 offers a day, 3 offers a day. They weren't good offers. I finally got someone to say yes. Paid my rent, right? Next one paid my car payment and my groceries. Right? 2 offers said yes to. All my bills were covered. Pretty amazing. You're not far from it yourself. Go make offers. Go make offers. Go make offers. All right? Thank you for being here. Please go to cmox.com/podcast to ask me any questions that you'd like me to cover in an upcoming episode. And please give me a thumbs up, like this, rate this, give me a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. It means a lot to me. All right. Thank you so much. See ya. Thank you for sticking around for the full episode. As you know, learners are earners, but you've got to take action on what you heard today. For more information and show notes, visit fractionalcmoshow.com. If you'd like me to answer your questions on an upcoming episode, you can share your question at fractionalcmoshow.com. And last, please hit the like and subscribe button so that I know that this content is helpful to you. All right, go get them.